Thursday morning, August the 25th. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris, and this is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, and hopefully get your day started off on the right note. Lots to talk about in the world of weather. Man, oh man, it is getting awful busy. The good news is that, at least for right now, the tropics not awful busy. As we look outside, the top two things we are monitoring, first and foremost, we are timing out today's storms because, once again, there are going to be plenty of storms around, and I think we could actually start to see that coverage spreading, which means we could be dealing with some flooding rains. We could even be dealing with some stronger storms, so we'll look at all the model data there. Of course, we're going to look ahead to your weekend forecast, but this nerd in particular is excited and ready to track launch forecasts. Yeah, I mean, we've always got a launch on the horizon. Oftentimes we have several, but it's not oftentimes that we've got that puppy out there. The first time ever for SLS to launch. The deepest space human rated space system is heading up, and we've got you covered on every element of our upcoming excitement. But first, before we get into any of that, let's just look outside and see what's doing, right? On a nice Thursday morning, there is a shot from our new Smyrna Beach tower cam. Plenty of clouds around. It has been a nice, quiet start to our day. Temperatures out the door in the low to mid 70s across many locations, but you can see Orlando, St. Cloud, even Melbourne sitting at 80 degrees. Our first warning, live Doppler radar. This is more than likely, yeah, that's just ground clutter around the Orlando radar. But what we do have off the shoreline here, especially in Brevard County, are some showers. You can kind of see them working on in. So Cocoa Beach, my friends, don't be surprised if you get a nice quick little downpour moving on in up near Rockledge and Port Canaveral. Nothing too strong, but showers definitely working their way in. All right, so let's take a look. You know what? Wrong one. Let's look at this one. Hi, how are ya? All right, this morning we're good. 10% or less coverage of rain out the door. Then we look through the day and we build in that rain coverage up to a 70%. So we knew late this week that the rain chances were going to be on their way up. Here we are, 70% coverage of rain today. And as a matter of fact, that's just kind of the beginning of the trend. If we look to the next couple of days, all right, if we look to the next couple of days, you can kind of see sitting at 70, and then for this weekend, things are starting to get a little bit better. I like that. The models had been a little overzealous trying to say 80% coverage of rain, but I dropped our rain coverage last night, and I'm happy to see that meteorologist Kellyanne Klass did the exact same thing looking into the forecast this morning. So, yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. Sonia's asking, kickoff for high school football tomorrow. Tohopalaika Marching Band is trying to get out there. Yeah, so we're going to have some showers and thunder showers, right? So what we'll do is let's next look at our future cast for today, and then we can look at it. In addition to today, we can look at it through tomorrow as well. Melanie says college football starts this weekend. First off, Melanie, I've not seen you in the room in a while. So glad to see your name. So glad college football is getting going. So glad. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. All right. So here we are, lunchtime today. Now, I'm not doing Wesh 2 News at noon. Let me just scoot up. I'm not doing Wesh 2 News at noon. I'm off, which means mowing the grass, laundry, lots of laundry. The honey-do list. Oh, well. So that's where we're at. 1, 2 o'clock, we start to see those showers moving inland little by little. And then by 3, 4 o'clock, those showers turn to thunder showers across the area. Notice 4 p.m., showers and thunder showers. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, heavy storms out west. Very heavy rainfall possible. And this is the kind of scenario where we could even be talking about some flooding rains around. By 8 p.m., that rain kind of starts to spread around, and then we continue 9, 10, 11 o'clock. The rains gradually fade on out. Okay, well, I hit the wrong button. So that's kind of where we're at for today. It's going to be a soaker of a day. I'm trying to find, hold on. I put my coffee mug down in the wrong spot, and it's narrowing my field of view. All right, where is, there you are. The extended Futurecast. All right, so that's Thursday. And, I'll just back this up for a minute. You can see 11 o'clock, still some showers around. So we're going to be wet for part of the evening. All right, for tomorrow, obviously it's Friday, high school football. We're good in the morning. Notice by lunchtime, we're going to start to crop up a couple of showers, right? Those showers turn to thunder showers, then clear on out. So let's just look. Here's 6 p.m., there's 6 p.m., widely scattered showers and storms. 7 p.m., it's in the metro area, unfortunately. So it does look like this may play into high school football forecasts just a little bit. That's obviously not ideal when it comes to wanting to see marching bands, wanting to see football. But, again, when we look to that rain chance, we're overall in this wet pattern. But if there's any good news here, it's the fact that looking ahead to our Saturday and Sunday, those rain chances do start to go down just a little, back to close to average. Average is about 40-50% coverage, and we're obviously above average these next couple of days, but we'll be getting back to it. Carol, good morning to you. How are you? Nita, good morning. Yes, off to a good start. Coffee time, rise and shine. Alan, good morning to you. Awesome lightning storm after midnight last night. I was asleep. I didn't see it. Evelyn, are you doing laundry today? Yeah, exactly right. I have to take today. I posted about this as I started it a little bit yesterday. I have to take today and read the 90 pages of the Artemis reference guide. I want to know every little bit of the Artemis mission. Every little bit. I want to know every little bit of it, so that not only can I know what the deuce I'm talking about on Monday, but I can really nerd out with you here when we do social from the Weather Lab. The official launch forecast has not gone out yet, so this is kind of what we're looking at for it, okay? I think we're going to be good. Hundreds of thousands of people are heading to our coastline to see the largest, most powerful rocket ever created. And to give you some perspective, the SLS is not just a monster rocket, it's going to the moon, and it's going to be there for a while. This rocket has the capability to take more payload to deep space than the space shuttle could take to low Earth orbit. This is more powerful than the Saturn V rocket that took astronauts to the moon back in the 60s and 70s. This, as a matter of fact, is the most powerful rocket ever created by man and launched. Now, Starship, Elon Musk and SpaceX's future rocket, will be stronger, more powerful than this, taller than this. So SLS will hold the title, albeit for a relatively short amount of time. Like Saturn V held the title. SLS, boom, Starship, right? And orbital tests, by the way, for Starship should be right around the corner. We will have moisture in place, but I think that the morning will be very similar to today. And one of the nerd things that I'm looking into, I have to find okay, here it is. One of the nerd things that I'm looking into, just so that you know, is I'm studying the Artemis 1 weather criteria document. Let me just read to you the temperature elements, just so that you know the kind of stuff that the NASA astronauts, NASA ground crews, Space Launch Delta 45 meteorologists have to go through, okay? I'm just going to read to you The temperature facts. Do not initiate tanking if the 24-hour average temperature at both 132.5 feet and 257.5 feet is less than 41.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not launch if the temperature at both 132.5 feet and 257.5 feet exceeds 94.5 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 consecutive minutes. Do not launch if the temperature at both 132.5 feet and 257.5 feet drops below a defined temperature constraint for 30 consecutive minutes. The temperature constraints range from 38 degrees Fahrenheit to 49 degrees Fahrenheit, depending upon the wind and relative humidity. Higher wind and relative humidity result in colder temperature constraint. What? So just so that you know, when that official launch forecast comes out, and we're like 70% chance of good weather, 80%, all of that nerd speak that I just spoke to you, those are the constraints. And that's just temperature. That's not all the other stuff. Like I said, nerd stuff. But we'll be here for it. And in addition to the social element of nerddom, we'll be on TV, West 2 News Sunrise, all morning long. And we are even going to have a launch weather officer out at the Cape with us on Monday morning to chat about it. So very excited. Hope that you join us. It's going to be great fun. And my goal is that if you have any weather questions, we'll be here to answer it. But if you have any Artemis, SLS, Orion questions, I'm hoping that I can straight up nerd out to the point where I can answer it as well. That's my goal. I know that I'm not going to have all the facts, but I'm going to do my best to have as much information as I possibly can. All right. Eric watching a morning show. Thanks for no hurricane hype. Oh, Lewis, it's my pleasure. We'll certainly be talking tropics, but in a no hype way. So anyway, Artemis is looking good, but do not want to forget the tried and true SpaceX Falcon 9 set for another liftoff for Starlink satellites. This is going to be Saturday night. This is an evening launch. SLS is Monday morning. The reason that I really show the differences is because evening launches are usually not as good. Not in terms of viewing or this, but the weather doesn't love to cooperate. So just a heads up, if you're wanting to watch this one right now, going for a 40% probability of launch. Yeah. Definitely one of those things we're going to have to watch. So Dana, what time is the launch? So SpaceX Falcon 9, 10:22 in the 10:22 in the evening is what we're looking at. If you're looking at SLS on Monday, it is at 8:33, or at least that's when they're targeting, but it's a 2-hour launch window. Yukon. So Eric, how much of it sticks with you when you read it? I don't have like the fanciest of memory. I think, you know what it is, and I don't know what the name is, but if it's something that I truly can nerd out about, if it's something that I really am interested in, then I feel like I can memorize it. And what I was even thinking of doing is printing these 90 pages out and highlighting stuff and then laminating it. Like, is that super nerdy? 90 pages front and back. I know it's a lot of paper, but half of it is just the SLS, which I can keep for future missions. Yeah. All right. So is it a spaceship or a rocket going up? Sorry, not a nerd yet. Rosebud, no, you're fine. I mean, rockets are spaceships. This is the NASA SLS. SpaceX is working on their Starship. That's the name of their rocket. So this is SLS, which consists of the SLS vehicle, the Orion capsule, on the Artemis 1 mission. What? All these words, all these names. Orion is the capsule. Crew-rated capsule that will take humans further than they've ever gone before. SLS is the vehicle, the solid rocket boosters, the tank, all that. Artemis is the name of the mission. So think of it like this. In the Apollo days, you had the Saturn V rocket, okay? I don't think there was a name for like the manufactured capsule. It was just the control module. And then it was a part of the Apollo program. So Artemis and Apollo, brother, sister. That's where they kind of got that. That's where they got that name. So anyway, that's where we've got. Marilyn says, I've seen all the space launches in history. I've never missed any space launches. Very cool. You better not be missing this one. Better not be missing this one. Times when I was younger, there was a launch on TV. I would skip school so I could go to the space launch on my television set. Wouldn't go to school. Knew they were lunching that day. Yeah, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a big launch. This is going to be a big launch. Catherine says it's super nerdy, but who cares? Hey, I'm here for it. As long as you're here for it too, I'm here for it. Okay, any questions about Artemis or our coverage or any of that stuff? That's my goal, is to make sure we've got it all. Write notes from the document. Writing helps you remember. Yeah, that's true. Frank says, light this candle. Yeah, boy. I'll tell you, I'll even show it to you. I've been working this morning. I texted a friend, and I was like, does this make me pathetic? Just so that you know, I'll show you it's a work in progress, but I'm literally working on graphics to show you the Artemis mission profile. Like, that is the unfinished product of the mission profile. Is it pathetic that I'm doing that? Kind of. It's okay to say yes. It's okay to say yes. Anyway. I'll share this with the other stations in my company. But I'm I'm working on stuff to try and give you as much information as you possibly can. That's what I'm going for, okay? Is it nerdy? It's nerdy. I'm backing it up because I'm kind of like, meh, you kind of are a pathetic loser, Burris. Okay. All right. So that's that. Let's go out to the tropics and see what's doing. Okay. Let's see. Just a couple of questions here. Robin, thank you very much. Yukon says, it seems like this I'll pop up the art. While we're still talking Artemis, I'll pop this up. Seems like this back to the moon and off to Mars is taking so long. Over 50 years ago with technology at 10% of what it is today. And we're just now getting back in maybe 3. I know. Listen, I mean, this rocket alone is $1 billion. The mobile gantry was $1 billion over budget. Like, when you start thinking about the money that's going into this, it's insanity. It really is. I mean, it's cost money to ride the train, but I think money, Yukon, is probably what's holding it all up, right? Allison, we are here on holiday from the UK. Can you recommend where to see the rocket launch? Anywhere. Just get as close as you can. Anywhere in Cocoa Beach. Jetty Park is the place. But let me tell you something. We've been to the Port St. John boat ramp, and that was fine. Just get as close as you can. The Port St. John boat ramp was always pretty good. When we never got on base, when we were off of base, for whatever reason, that's where we stuck, and that was a great place. So, Allison, go check out the Port St. John boat ramp. It's a great view. Patty, wonder if we could see it over my house in Palm Coast. Why not? It's much larger than a Falcon 9 or an Atlas 5. Brian, I always remember being a kid and watching at night Saturn V launch from the beach very nearby. That's wild. That's wild. That mission profile graphic is very cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Catherine says, I'm glad you're working on it. Nerd out. Thank you, Yukon. If it's of interest to you, it's good. Not pathetic. Okay. The blue lines look like the best route. It's all the route. It's how you're coming and going. Yeah. Eduardo, this is great. When will Orion be back on Earth? How long is the trip? So it's anywhere from 27 to 48 days. Now, I haven't learned why it would be longer or shorter, other than, of course, like weather and stuff. But the thing that's interesting is this is going to go further than any human-rated capsule has before. The furthest ever away from Earth, would you believe, was Apollo 13? Now, I do need to go and research because I would imagine, given the weight and balance of a non-landed spacecraft, they probably had to go further out on their orbit around the moon to set up the correct free return trajectory back to the Earth. So, but I have to double check that. But at any rate, the plan here is that this is going to go further than any human-rated spacecraft has ever gone from Earth. And it will be orbiting the moon, and then, of course, then they have to come back. So anyway, this is all stuff we'll get into on Monday. I'm going to have graphics to support. I'm going to try and make as many as I can. But yeah, so 27 to 48 days, somewhere in that vicinity. Lots. Marilyn, good job. This is an important project for the environment. It has to do with whether it's putting out there or not. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Nothing you do is pathetic. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. My backyard is a good spot. Yeah, it's as good as ever. It's as good as ever. Yukon says, I'm not complaining about the money spent on space. So many good derivative items have come from that science investment. 100%. But the question was, why is it taking so long? And I think that that's what it is. You only have so much money, and so you then have to budget accordingly. I think that that's why we've not gone crazy on sending 7 of these up, because you have to build it, yada, 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 yada. Yeah. They just put the tickets on sale for Jetty Park. Yeah, exactly. And I can also tell you, we're going to be at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, which is where we take the weather lab for all the big launches. And I'm going to do my best to give you a front row seat to all the prep that goes into it. And then it will be my goal, certainly, to stream everything live, okay? So I'm going to do my darndest to give you that front row seat that we're going to have. Yeah. The best employee is who is excited to do the intricate work to give the information, because not only will they give the correct work, but they will give the details others overlook. Wow. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, it's, what it is? And maybe it's learning to fly, but I feel like learning to fly, you have to prepare for everything, right down to understanding how the engine in the aircraft works. So for weather, you could cheat your way through weather school, and sure, we could do a forecast, and I could do forecasting, but what happens when there's a tornado warning, and you better know how to read radar, or, Coffee Talk to me is the greatest example. If I didn't know what I was talking about, boy, would I be able to answer our questions? No. I'd either lie my way through it or tell you I just don't know. And I do say I don't know when I don't know. But I don't want to do that on Monday as much as I can. I want to be able to have as much nerd information as I can so that we can have a super, super cool time together. Yeah. Is the launch going to create any unique jellyfish clouds since it's launching early? It's going to be a little late for that. You really need to get a launch just before sunrise. Of course, the launch, look out the window right now, right? Like the launch would be taking place right about now-ish. And it's already bright out. So no cool lighting effects with the curvature of the Earth and all that stuff. All right. Brian, any word on how the launch boosters, etc., are recovered? So, no, I haven't gotten there yet. But these are the SRBs from the shuttle program. So you would imagine that they have the same capability of splashing down and being recovered. But God's honest truth, this is one of the things that I absolutely plan on studying and learning about. Elements. I just want to see, so 63, let me just go to 63, page 63, I want to see vehicle assembly building, launch pad, mobile launcher, yeah, crawler, software, recovery. Yeah, see, I'll get there. I don't know the answer to that yet, but I'm very curious about that as well. Sonia, I saw people buying water at Sam's. Lady said it's because we might have a hurricane by Friday. God. All right, I guess now's as good a time as any to talk tropics. We're not going to have a hurricane by Friday. This is all that's wrong in social media. All right, so to tropics. Sonia, I know you didn't mean to take the wind out of my sails, but I hate hype so much. All right, so off the coast of Africa, a decent tropical wave is rolling. It's going to take a little while to get its sea legs, and once it does, we could be talking about some slow development. Now, we'll look at the models here in a moment, but if it does develop, we'll have plenty of time to watch. All right, so there's that. Then we go to this one. If you want to get a hurricane by Friday, it's got to be close. But also, today's Thursday, so if you're talking a hurricane by tomorrow, there's a 0% chance of that. If you're talking by next Friday, I would not be too concerned. I'd be doing what I'm doing, which is watching the tropics. There's that little batch of clouds. Looks terribly ominous. Not. It's very unorganized. Hurricane Center continues to monitor this. But as I understand it, let me just double check. This has not yet been dubbed an invest. Yeah, not an invest yet. As it works into the Caribbean, though, it does have a low-end chance of developing. For right now, the models are liking it moving into Central America. So let's look at the model data. All right? We're going to get a hurricane by Friday. It just gets me, man. Please show the Flight Club IO trajectory for Artemis 1. What do you mean, Kenneth? What are you asking for? Taylor, the pause when you caught yourself to try not to say blank through it. Looked that way anyway. No, you are right. Taylor with calling me out. Accurately, as it may be. Oh, man. Calling me out, Taylor. Your words come up before you even say them. How does that happen in the captions? The only thing I can think of is it takes, from when I say it to when you get it, it takes 5 seconds. It's not delayed because I have like a button to bleep myself. It's just it takes that long for Facebook, Twitter, and all that to get out. So the only thing I could think of is that in that 5 seconds, Facebook is processing, Becky, my text, and that's how they're getting through. Rosebud's asking for spaghetti models. There's no spaghetti models. It's not an invest yet. Okay, so to the Caribbean we go. This is the 6Z GFS, okay? That system that we're watching approaching the Caribbean is this one right here. All right, so that's the initialization. That's right now. Let's roll through time. And notice, oh my goodness, it does not get deep, dark blues. It stays unorganized. This is tomorrow at 8 a.m. It will be south of the Virgin Islands, but there's that lowered pressure, okay? The GFS keeping it weak, keeping it unorganized, bringing it towards Central America. Bringing it towards Central America right in here by Tuesday of next week. Then it's trying to spin maybe something else up around Jamaica and the Caymans. Okay? That is Friday. That's 8 p.m. Friday, according to the GFS. All right, couple of things from this. First off, does that show that we're getting a hurricane Friday? Nope. That's 0Z Saturday, but that's really 8 p.m. Friday. All right, GFS is trucking it along into Texas. Okay, so that's not us, number one. If we go from the 6Z run to the 0Z, let's go one model run back. Let's see where that's going. Texas. Let's go 2 model runs back. Where is it going? Hanging out and just doing nothing. Let's go 3 model runs back. Weak. Up toward Louisiana. Let's go 4 model runs back. Louisiana. So, first thing is that the computer model is consistently inconsistent. What did he just say? A negative times a negative is a positive? Huh? Computer model has no idea. The other thing is it keeps pushing it back and keeps pushing it back. The GFS is doing GFS things. Don't trust this. I'm just telling you right now. Buy water, by all means. Drink said water. Keep it in case of emergency. Okay? But do not think we're getting a hurricane on next Friday. Could it happen? Like, sure, it could. But we're not going crazy. Yukon says, I haven't heard any local person mention a hurricane, and during the week I watch a competing station because Yukon. Got to get you over to the deuce. But I will say this: we're not watching a hurricane next Friday, at least not right now. Anything can happen, right? Let's switch over to the European. Click. Okay. Now remember, the 60 European does only go out 90 hours, so I will have to switch over to the 00Z. All right. One thing of note is it barely initializes this thing at all. Like, it's there, not much. Not much. All right, we'll switch over. Yeah, it's 90 hours. We'll switch over to the 00Z. Whole lot of nothing burger. Moisture here around the Yucatan Peninsula on Wednesday. Moisture, something of an area of low pressure. Now, that said, what's that on the right? That's a 992 low. That's a decent storm. That's the next thing. But that's not Friday, right? 234, 240. Now, that's 240 hours out. European has a hurricane around the northern Caribbean islands. Let's go back to the GFS. And the GFS does not. Right? What's going on? Models are disagreeing. That's what's going on. Okay, that's fine. That's where we start to dive into the ensemble plots. Are you ready for some super nerddom, people? So what's an ensemble plot? If you're new to Coffee Talk, the ensemble plots are ways for us to look at the same model, but like 50 different ways. All right? So it's really a powerful tool when it comes to just kind of getting beyond the operational model. So for example, here is Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. This is Coffee Talk next Wednesday. This is the GFS ensemble, and it's showing something. Several ensemble members are showing something down here. And you can kind of get an idea, ignore that on the right for a second, but you're getting an idea that the ensembles are saying, yeah, there's probably going to be something around here. But then it also gives you an idea of where it's thinking. You're not just committed to one, right? Like the operational GFS, it has to give you one plot. But we know, like, you ever buy something big and you're like unsure whether or not you should do it? Well, what if you had 50 versions of you? How many versions of you would buy it versus not buy it? Right? So that's what the ensemble gives, is it gives 50 versions of the exact same model, gives you an idea of where it's kind of thinking. So here, for example, again, ignore that stuff on the right-hand side, but here, for example, next Saturday, the ensemble, not a ton of them, but the ensemble, you know, if we just look at all low locations, you can kind of see, let me back this up a little bit, but you can kind of see most of the ensembles are grouped around the Yucatan Peninsula. But there are some ensembles around Florida, but you can very clearly see a lot of the ensemble members are showing something around the Gulf. Now we go to the right where we're starting to see some ensemble members also showing something, though this looks like more of a recurvature. Right? So that's the power of the ensemble plots. And when you look at it like this, it can be overwhelming, but it gives you an idea. You've got this grouping of recurving systems, and you've got this grouping of kind of Gulf stuff. The tropics are waking up. We know this to be the case. All right, let's switch over to the European ensembles, and then I'm going to take some questions. All right. So Wednesday, Thursday. So the European ensembles showing stuff in the Gulf. Even though the operational is not, you can see, even though the operational is not, the European ensembles are showing members out in the Gulf. Okay. And then we've got the European ensemble showing this grouping of stuff. Widely scattered. They have no idea where it's going. Which is fine. That's to be expected. The overall fluidity of it. Let me just back this up a little bit. Kind of see this grouping, though, of ensemble members Has no idea. From Florida all the way to the North Atlantic, it has no idea, right? So are we getting a hurricane next Friday? As of right now, it doesn't look like that. Is it possible that we get a hurricane next Friday? It's possible to get a hurricane today. You know, anything's possible, right? It's not going to happen, but you get the idea, right? So don't freak out. Don't believe chaotic hype. You know, this is where we come to hopefully get an understanding of what the models are saying and get perspective. All right. So any questions? Murray, does Galveston have anything to worry about? Right now, no. There's nothing out there. Right? I mean, if something develops, we can start talking about it. Let others hype. I look at it like, well, all the hyped people bought a ton of water super early, so it's not out of stock when the other people go out to prepare, and the late to the punch people in a time-sensitive situation go out last minute the day before. You know what it is, too, though, is it's the hypers that get people hyped, and then those people that were hyped say, but they said there would be a hurricane. Who's they? Me? Not me. Not any of my actual colleagues at WESH or my colleagues at any other Central Florida news organization. I've seen no one, and I follow everybody. Keep thy friends close, keep thy enemies closer, right? Nobody's enemies. Central Florida meteorological community is actually very, very, very good and close. Nobody's saying a hurricane. Listen, if you've been here for a while, you know, like there's plenty of times where you could be scared. And even then, you don't need to be scared. But there's plenty of times where you could be. This is absolutely not that. I've been through too many of these seasons to know. Mickey says, looks like the GFS is doing the same crazy stuff it was doing earlier in the hurricane season. It never happened. You know why I think it's doing that is because we're going into MJO phase. Here, I'll show you. What is the MJO? The Madden-Julian Oscillation. Okay. Hit you, hit you, hit you. Okay. The Madden-Julian Oscillation. You see how the green is over much of the Atlantic? Watch over the next few days. We're going to continue to start getting green kind of just spreading around. This right there, you see that? By like the 29th, you see how we're all covered in green? That is the MJO. That means that we are going favorable for spin in the atmosphere. That's the Madden-Julian Oscillation. And it moves from Pacific to Atlantic to Pacific. You're going to see the Pacific activity quieting down and the Atlantic activity picking up now that we're going into MJO phase. All right, so that's why things are starting to pick up and why storms will start to form. That's also why you're going to get the hypers. I literally can't stand it. Bruce says, a week or two after Charlie, I bought a generator, and ever since, we have never lost power other than a few minutes. Bruce, I mean, I've got the backup power system with my solar. I think of it as an insurance policy, you know? That's the way I look at it. Tom, Jim Cantori? No, my name's Eric Burris. How are you, though? Can you snap your fingers and make the rain suddenly disappear for the Daytona area so the race can happen? Oh, yeah, we haven't even mentioned that. Probably should do that, huh? I know you're there. Oh, here we are. Yeah, well, it's not as good of a forecast as I'm sure you'd like. Race starts and we're watching the radar. I'm sorry. Also, that's the old background. Hold on. Let me fix that background. I don't like all those green circles over Florida Rosebud says. I know. All right, hold on a second. I need to pick the new... We updated the NASCAR background. Hold on a second. There you go. Racing. Hold on. What you're looking at here, by the way, this is the like stuff you never get to see. So I make the backgrounds for the entire company. So all of these are backgrounds. So like when somebody, you know, like for example, there's look at this. Christmas Candy Cane, Christmas Lights 1, Christmas Lights 2, Christmas lights 3, Christmas presents, Christmas tree farm, Christmas tree lighting. I have made so many backgrounds, but in this case, I need to find racing. There, that's better. Stations from all over the country are asking me for graphics, and if they're good, I don't just give it to them. I give it to the entire group. Oh, that looks so much better. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right. My fiance's lived in Orlando his entire life, and he said he's never seen a hurricane here affect the tap water. Maybe not at his house. But like I can even remember during Irma, there were a lot of communities that either didn't have water, even inland, or the water was, they were asking because of lift station power outages not to like flush the toilets because it would be backing up into other homes and stuff. So there's stuff. There are things, you know? There are things. Always be prepared. Kelly, FYI, since I'm sure I've told you this a million times, if the power goes out from a hurricane, I'm driving to your solar-powered house to make coffee. Just going to walk in, make coffee, and walk back out. It's funny, Kelly. I told my neighbors, like, I've got the plug on the front patio. Like, just come on over, plug in your coffee maker, and you're good to go, everybody. Yeah. My birthday is March 20th. It's also the first day of spring. New graphic for 2023. There is a spring background, yeah. All right, so that's where we're at. Any questions, comments, concerns? Nikki says, during Irma, we lost power for 9 days and hence had no water since we're on a well. There's that too. That's why we tell you to fill up the bathtubs so that you can do your potty. Patty says, pee outside. That's not the one that becomes the problem, Patty. All right. Tanya says, thanks, Eric. I'll let him know he should be concerned next time. I mean, not concerned, but just prepare as if it wasn't there. You right? John says, when do you start giving neighborhood by neighborhood times and impacts? I would love to make it through a season and not have to touch those graphics. Mickey, how long are we now without a tropical system? A record? I believe September 1st would be the record. I've been focused on Artemis that I've kind of stopped like really tracking that, but I'll give you stand by, and I'll look at, hi, Stell. Give me a second. I will pull up some data. Atlantic tropical activity. Okay. All right. Stand by. So July 3rd. When was so July? Phil Klotzbach put out the tweet. Let me get his tweet. Stand by. I'm going to get his tweet and then I'm going to add on the idea. Hold on. Bear with me. First time since 1982, the Atlantic has had no named storms. Okay, so July 3rd. All right, give me a second. So July 3rd. So 7-3. Come on, computer. I'm on live and these people don't have patience. I'm trying to work an Excel document. 7-3, sugar. 7-3 to today is August 25th. 8. Come on. 8:25. Okay. All right. So July 3rd to 8:25. When was the last time we had 0 named storms in this window? It's still 1982. Yeah. So Phil tweeted, so it's still 1982. So let's change that to 25. We'll go to 27th. I'm just throwing out numbers here. Yeah, so 27th. Is it September 1st? 9-1. I'm plugging these numbers into an Excel spreadsheet. It would be around September 1st that we would then set that record and go back even through the 60s. So yeah. So 1982. So it's the quietest stretch from July 3rd to 1980, from July 3rd to August 25th. The last time that this stretch had been as quiet was 1982. So there you go. Which is crazy. All right. Any other questions? That's it. Enough. I'll talk to you guys later. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out, but please plan for some super nerddom extended social media coverage when I see you on Monday morning. We'll still be doing coffee talk next couple of days and all that, but Monday morning, nerddom. All right?